Hey y'all, welcome back if you've been here before. If not, welcome. And a week ago I posted a video asking the question, if you're social distancing, what better way to social distance than on a Harley Davidson? And how about social distancing on a 2015 BMW S1000R? And I would like to apologize first and foremost that the bike is absolutely filthy. But the reason it's filthy is because I do ride this bike. I love riding this bike. And it is not a garage queen. It gets ridden, and I would rather spend my time riding than cleaning. But even dirty, to me, it's just a gorgeous machine, which is one of the reasons I bought this thing. Anyway, I'll do a quick walk around on the bike. It's basically performance-wise stock. It's got a few little mods and updates. The Moto G rear sets to get some more lean angle out of it, and the Litech frame adjusters. Rhizoma bar end mirrors, which don't look as cool in the upright position as when people have them turned down, but they're definitely more functional this way. The Litech, the Rhizoma adjustable levers for the clutch and rear brake, and the little V-Stream windscreen on here, which the little bikini fairing it was on here was basically aesthetic. That still allows the air to push you up when you're in the upright cruising position, but gives you a nice little bubble to tuck behind. Again, I apologize how dirty this thing is. But other than I still haven't done frame sliders because I'm just so indecisive. I just really haven't found the ones I want. And the next big thing I'm going to do, and it's going to cost some coin, is getting rid of that ugly mid-pipe. That huge cat on there. I actually love the titanium factory can, but I just got to find the right mid-pipe that I want, one that I can afford, and put it on and do a dyno tune on it, and some nice frame sliders. I'm thinking about Woodcraft, and it'll be just about perfect set up for me. So anyway, let's take it for a ride and talk about it. So boy, it is a heck of a windy day, but that's kind of a good thing because this nice cool northern has really cooled things down. It's also blown all of those darn rain clouds out of the way, so we've actually got some blue skies and just a few clouds, but it is very windy and pretty darn loud right now. So I don't know how the audio quality is going to be. We're just kind of taking it easy, cruising along. Again, if you are out riding during this COVID-19 pandemic, please don't be stupid. Take it easy. Don't get in a wreck. Don't put any more load on our healthcare providers. And again, the last place you want to be is in a hospital if you're not sick, because that's the best place to get sick. So look at them clouds flapping. So anyway, the question you may or may not be asking is, why did I get a S1000R? Well, I tell you, I did like a lot of people do when I wanted to treat myself with this bike. I still had a couple of bikes in the garage, but I've always wanted a really nice motorcycle. I've always ridden Japanese bikes. That's what I could afford. And hey, the Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Yamaha, all great motorcycles, proven quality. Just they make good bikes. That's why they've been around this long. That's why they sell so many of them. But I've always wanted, what one might consider a dream bike. I always wanted a Hyper Naked, and I looked at all the reviews and watched all the shootouts, and it had come down between the S1000R and the KTM Super Duke, and with the Aprilia Tuono right behind them. So anyway, I wasn't going to go out and buy a new bike. I've actually only bought one new motorcycle in my whole life, and that's that electric glide. But the thing that is nice about this class of motorcycle is you can find them for used with very low miles and very, very cheap. And to give you an idea, when I got this one, it had just under 2,000 miles. It had like 18.8, I believe, on the clock, and I am the third owner. And what happens is you get people, they decide they want a bike. You get a lot of new time guys, and they decide they want a bike. They've learned to ride on their friends or whatever, and they say, well, I'm going to get, the best. And so they go and they do the same thing. They read the reviews, look at the shootouts, look at the specs, look at the horsepower, look at the torque, and they go out and spend a lot of money, and they'll buy a bike like this, buy it brand new, and they'll jump on it. And the thing with these naked bikes like this one doesn't have that that high peak horsepower like the Double R does, but it's got so much torque down low and such a broad power curve. I mean, that power comes in just everywhere. I mean, look at that. I'm under $3,000 and it'll just pull right out of it, no problem. It makes it such an easy bike to ride. It just really does, and that's one of the things I like. I don't want to have to be sitting up at $10,000 all the time. I'm not getting any younger, and I don't want the strain on the wrists and the back of a full-fared clip-on bike. So people are attracted to all those things with a naked motorcycle. So anyway, people will go out and they'll do their research and they'll buy the bike, and then they'll spend a couple of months getting used to it, and then getting a little more familiar with it, and then they'll start to give it a little bit of throttle. And then they'll get up like here around $4,000 and give it a little twist and say, wow, that sure does pull well. And they'll get used to it, and then they'll finally get their beans, and I better tuck up here, get up around 8. Just that, just that easy. Don't need any clutch. You're going to jerk that tire off the ground. Again, I'm trying to not be stupid here, but they'll get into a situation like that, and it'll scare the crap out of them. Because like you saw, that was only at $7,000 in second gear. This bike, if you're sitting in a full upright position at 100 miles an hour, and you nail that throttle, it's going to lift the tire. Let me tell you, it is really cool to have a bike that will power wheelie at 100 miles an hour, which again, I'm not going to be dumb and do that right now. I shouldn't have even been doing those little ones, but I just kind of want to show you, and that wasn't being just super aggressive with it. Anyway, that's when a person gets scared, they park the bike and say, oh hell no, I'm never riding that thing again. So if you're an experienced rider and you're looking for a naked bike that you can sit comfortably on, and I mean, this thing is just so comfortable. Even with that little flat seat, it's actually got a really great seat. Even here at 50 miles an hour, not quite weightless, but almost weightless. But you get up over 60 and there's no weight on the wrist anymore. Even with these rear sets, my knees are in a pretty decent position. Now, I'm only 5'8", but it is a very comfortable bike to ride for hours and hours. I mean, here, let me get on the highway here, and then I will demonstrate a couple other things. the quick shifter on this thing works great. Now this does not have an auto flip down shift. Well, sorry, I had to get around that guy, but I mean, that again, that wasn't just giving it the beans, but this bike accelerates so fast and so hard. It's a lot of fun. So here, 67 miles an hour, 66, and I am just weightless. There's no weight on my wrist at all. I can hit the cruise. You see that little green light down there, and that means the cruise is on. And hand off the throttle and get to where the speed limit's a little bit faster. I can just press on it, just like in the car with the Excel button. I'll start to excel. If I get toward an area where the speed limit's a little bit lower, I pull back on it. It lets off the throttle. It'll decel. And just like that, I mean, it's really nice, you know, to be able to relax your wrist for long days in the saddle. It's great. We've got heated grips. You know, this bike is made to ride, and that's one of the reasons I love it. Is you can ride it a long time without getting wore out. And getting the twisties, and you want to give it the beans, and go for it. Now, so anybody with some riding experience, you know, and you've had some experience on leader bikes or even some faster 600s, and you want to get a bike like this, or, you know, I highly recommend the S1000R. If you are a new rider and looking at this bike, I do not recommend the S1000R. I mean, some people do. Some people are brand new riders, and they'll get one and ride it a long time and actually survive. But you know, it's also a bike that if you don't know what you're doing, can get away from you just really, really quick. So anyway, again, if you are in an area, you know, where you can get out away from people, and you choose to do so, just get out there and ride. Just be smart about it. Don't be stupid. And thanks for watching.